Good morning, Orlando. This is Bill Strickler with the one and only Inspector Spry. How are you doing today?
I love you, man. I love your French accent. It's the best. Hey, welcome to American Roundtable, right here from beautiful Orlando, Florida. Just want to tell you about my new book, You're Abundant Now, YourAbundantNow.com. Make your life better and more joyful this holiday season.
Well, you look exceptionally happy today.
I am happy.
And I understand because
You think it's the beret?
the beret in Notre Dame, they actually opened up Notre Dame, and Donald Trump went, and Joe Biden, and Joe was in the jungle somewhere.
So we have we got through this election, right? We're still all standing.
Yeah, but I don't see where the left is really trying to make things happen. Unite the country is what they were saying. If they won, they would unite the country, and they're still fighting. They just will not support Trump in any way.
Well, they have their own agenda, but in the meantime, they're losers, right? I mean, as far
they are
as
losers.
The people, not if you're watching the show and you're a Democrat, we love you too. It's not like we're not, but they lost, right?
Yep. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Win, sometimes you lost. I mean,
sometimes you can't choose between the two.
Right. So Trump had a press conference, and he's saying that really the quote is everybody wants to be my friend. So,
well, look at you. Look at you. You're a winner. People want to be your friend, Inspector.
They do. I have a lot of friends.
Exactly. You're like
let's just say I have a lot of acquaintances, but few friends.
Oui.
You're one of them, monsieur.
No, thank you.
Well, I want to know, I need some feedback on our Facebook page, USA Roundtable, facebook.com/USA Roundtable. Do you like the beret? That's the question.
I love it. I wouldn't do another show without it.
So Trump was at Mar-a-Lago, and the quote is, the first term, everybody was fighting me. That was back in 2016 to 2020, right? And then he says, in this term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know. My personality changed or something, he said in his remarks. The view of one commentator is the line an example of Trump boasting, or is he really changed? The statement was hyperbolic, but not by much. Maggie Haberman, New York Times. She cites a long line of business leaders and former foes traveling to Mar-a-Lago, including Jeff Bezos, who described Trump as a changed man. What do you think? What does that mean? What do you think he's a changed man?
Well, he's got 4 years of experience being president,
right?
4 years of experience not being a president, and I think that he knows what to do now when he gets back into office.
And he was almost killed.
Twice.
Yep.
That we know of.
Right, that we know of. So we'll have more on this and other stories. It's our holiday editions. We're doing a couple of holiday shows for you guys. Hope you're having a nice holiday season. Always remember to check us out on Facebook. Like I said, facebook.com/USA Roundtable. You can go to my page, alspry.com. Check me out. I'm also a real estate broker and can help you with any of your real estate needs when I'm not hosting the show. We'll have more for you after this. Want to thank Sue Lupia and Doug Strickler and everybody on the team for a wonderful show, American Roundtable on TV 38. Welcome back to American Roundtable. Glad to hear you. Glad to see you here. Well, we're starting our 10th year next year.
Holy tamale.
Amazing.
So you went to Paris, so tell us a little bit about your Paris trip.
The Paris trip was great. We had a wonderful time. The Parisians are very cool. We had a nice accommodations at the Pullman Hotel, which is the second largest building in Paris. It's a very nice place. It has a bar on the roof. You can see Paris at night in the Eiffel Tower. We hit the sights. We did the tower. We did the Champs-Élysées. I bought Yvonne some perfume from Guerlain, and we walked around and we went to a lot of interesting places. I saw Jim Morrison's grave at Père Lachaise Cemetery.
Whoa.
And that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Found out he's born on the same day I am, December 8th.
Whoa.
You got a belated birthday coming my way, right?
Belated birthday.
All right. But yeah, we had a great time. Went to the Louvre Museum. Paris is a wonderful town. It's easy to get around with the subway. They call it the metro. Yeah. And, you know, for stuff I wanted to ask, I mean, there was a lot of English spoken. Had to use my translator program a couple times on my phone, but for the most part, it went pretty well.
So that is an authentic beanie.
Yeah, this is authentic.
Authentic. Not that you buy at a flea market around here.
Authentique.
That's right. Authentic.
I'm not going to wear anything fake.
Of course not.
So getting back to Trump, the fulsome embrace is a quote. The fulsome embrace of Trump in recent weeks is a scene we would have seemed unimaginable 4 years ago. But it's been clear for some time that the past isn't a prologue for Trump's second coming. A difference in approach across a political spectrum driven by his popular vote win and battleground state sweep. Remember, he won the popular vote. He's totally legitimate. Totally. They can't say not my president. They could say it, but it doesn't mean anything. He was elected. The will of the people.
But, you know, today is a day that Trump's government manufactured and bought sections of the wall, which were not installed, that are just laying there. And today they're selling the wall for pennies on a dollar because that's what Biden wants to do. That's his way of throwing another kink into his game plan, which I think really stinks.
Well,
Biden should go back on vacation.
Biden is a very angry and sad man now, and he's trying to just be an angry, sad guy. I mean, his party basically abandoned him, a party he was faithful to for over 50 years, his whole life. A staunch Democrat.
Not only got kicked to the curb, but he just kind of like got squashed by the machine.
He did. It's interesting, though, a little karma hitting Nancy Pelosi. She broke a hip. Had to have a hip replaced. That's not so good.
That happens. That happens to get your age.
She's over 80. She's older than you, even.
Gets old. That's what happens. You get old. Your age.
I'm 55.
But you know,
I'm still a spring chicken, Bill.
Yeah.
Still a spring chicken.
Yes.
You know, Biden has pretty much disappeared from the world stage. He's done. He's as lame as you can be.
I don't think the world leaders even see him as president. I think that what I see on the media, which we'll talk about in a second, is they see Trump as the president because it's going to be there in a few weeks anyway.
And another thing is, so regarding Robert Kennedy Jr., who they're still painting as a radical, I don't think he is. I think he's just kind of a common sense kind of guy, right?
Yeah, I think he sees a lot of things as being real. Some of the things he may say may go against mainstream, but it all comes down to what are the facts. I mean, you know, we can talk, one person can see something one way and another one another. So let's just talk about the facts, and that'll come out as we move further. But you can't crucify the guy because he has good intentions.
Speaking of the facts, ABC has some questions to answer. They settled a $15 million suit that Trump filed.
$15 million.
$15 million.
Because George, on Good Morning America, I guess he did his interview, said he was
we'll
liable for rape.
We'll get more to that after this. But this
Fired
is American Roundtable, and we're all raring to go right here on TV 38. See you right back. Welcome back to American Roundtable. Bill, tell me about the Pale Ale.
Yes, it's about time. So are you happy today because you had Pale Ale with your beanie?
It is a beret, not a beanie.
You look extra happy today.
It's the Pale Ales. Get smashed. It says right here, all for you, the most delicious beer you will never enjoy. You won't stop drinking it until you're totally and completely smashed. Brought to you by the Silver Fox of Beer, Al Spry.
Inspector Al Spry.
So, ABC News surprised and shocked the world of journalism. ABC News is owned by Disney, and they settled this suit. George Stephanopoulos, who you remember, he was Clinton's press guy back in the day.
Yeah.
Said multiple times on the other, Trump had been found liable for rape against E. Jean Carroll. That was incorrect. Trump was found liable for sexual assault, but not rape under New York state law at the time of the case ruling. Rape is vaginal penetration by a penis. The move is generating plenty of commentary. The shock came and still lingers. You know, every experienced press lawyer not involved in the case considered the case one in which ABC was likely to eventually prevail. So why they do it? Why do you
Well,
think
you know, you got to take a look at it that outsiders that aren't actually in the case, during discovery, some things could have come up where Disney's attorney said, let's just settle this. Because there could have been some incriminating malice that they found in the discovery. So there's speculation that Disney paid the $15 million with his, you know, drop in the bucket for Disney. He'd probably make that in a day or less.
Oh, yeah.
So they just wrote it off. They agreed to apologize. George agreed to apologize. And in today's world, the corporation say, you know, we need to be kind of like kissing the ring, if you know what I mean, with Trump.
Or how about just more, how about not even kissing the ring, how about just more neutral instead of always taking the other side, instead of, you know, more neutral position?
You would think that Disney would be so pro-family and...
Not anymore. Not like they used to be.
Right. And not woke. And they just went off the deep end.
They're very woke. They're very woke now. Not well, because the family isn't involved in it anymore. You know, they don't sit on the board anymore. The Disney family, and so it's just run basically without that same nucleus.
For money,
yeah. And so there's a lot of changes. I mean, look, I don't go to Disney anymore. I used to have a pass after COVID and all the rules, and then the changes, and then they upped the price of everything, and now it's very expensive to go, and I just don't see the value. Do you see the value? Do you go to Disney?
I haven't been to Disney in years. I'd like to go. I'll go to Disney Springs and
that's the free park.
Yeah, have
or
a
the
nice
free,
lunch or
area.
dinner.
But the park itself.
The park has some very interesting things that I like to see, but you know, you're talking about me.
You got to drop a few $100s when you go,
right?
And that's if you're not. That's plus the ticket.
And then you have options like SeaWorld and Universal Studios,
which are nice. In some cases, nicer. I'm going to SeaWorld. My friend that works there got us some tickets. I'm going to SeaWorld on Sunday.
French guy, right? Oui.
And then we got a Magic game tomorrow night we're going to go to.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So how come you don't have Magic
I used to.
season ticket?
I used to.
How come you stopped?
Then I moved down to way out of town.
Is that what it is? It's harder to go?
Yeah, before I used to live close to downtown, and it just take me 10 minutes to get there.
My old buddy who passed away, Jack Nelson, was a big, from the beginning he had Magic tickets, and you would always see him on the sidelines in his sweater vest arguing with the officials. It was great. So
it was great.
I miss Jack. This is American Roundtable. Check us out, our Facebook page. Tell me if you like the beret.
I can tell they love it already.
Do they?
They love it already.
Really?
I can feel it coming.
Feel
through.
the love?
Yeah, I can feel it coming out of the TV screen. They love
All right.
it.
Well, I love you too. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving me, big boy. I appreciate you. It's a time of appreciation and gratitude. I want to be thankful for what we do here on American Roundtable and thankful for you, and we'll be right back after these important messages. Stay tuned to American Roundtable on TV 38 WHDO.
Can you hear the sound in the background, Inspector?
I think
that must be Santa on the roof.
It must be Santa.
Must be Santa.
So we have, how about this? Nick Fowler broke the Arizona Trail speed record in November, and 100 miles in, he was puking like crazy, so he started over. What's it like to set the new fastest known time for an 800-mile Utah to Mexico trail that passes through both deserts and the Grand Canyon? In a word, painful.
Painful.
Tell us more.
Well, the guy decides he's going to go down this trail, which you have to admit, the human nature is always pushing limits.
Yes.
And he was able to accomplish it in record time. Record time.
Record time.
Record time. So he went down by himself and went through the deserts, he went through mountains, and he got into Mexico, 800 miles. And let's see, that was in how many days? 12 days, 17 hours and 33 minutes.
Wow.
So he walked 800 miles, yeah.
That's really fast.
Yep.
He bested the fully supported fastest known time of 13 days, 3 hours, and 21 minutes set in 2021. That was a race where a support team can assist along the way. So, but it is an impressive accomplishment. He hitched a ride back to the trail's northern start, recuperated because he got sick, literally got sick 100 miles in. Then he tried again. He didn't give up. That's
Never
the thing.
give up.
Never give up. Unless you're in the radio business working with psychopaths, and then you go into TV like I did. But I haven't given up on broadcasting.
You haven't.
I've been broadcasting on some form since 1998. So that's
1998.
That's coming on, almost 30 years, isn't it?
Sure is.
So, it's good to be here on American Roundtable with you all. So this guy, he pushed through a thunderstorm, below freezing temperatures, uncomfortable chafing. Remember, you come down there, it's uncomfortable.
Wherever.
Imagine 800 miles of that.
800 miles.
I've never had this much foot pain before. His body was still recovering 2 weeks after finishing the race. Son of a gun. Well, good for him. That is Nick Fowler, hitting the record books. Now, here's a nice story. I guess you could call it a good karma story, right? Decades after donating a kidney, Tawana Looney got one from a pig. What's going on with that?
It was genetically modified so her body could accept the kidney.
Right, because you can't really, in the old days, you couldn't get an organ from an animal.
And the good karma is she gave up her kidney to her
Isn't that something?
mom 20 years ago.
Isn't that
and then
something?
she developed, the other kidney was damaged somehow through the years, and she needed another kidney. So she went to the University of Alabama at Birmingham, where they had genetically modified a pig's kidney, and she got it from there. Now, that doesn't mean that she's going to keep it the whole time or it won't be rejected. At this point, she's fine. She's been released from the hospital, and then after she's in a center where they can monitor her, and then she can be released in 2 weeks or 2 months, whatever.
It's called a xenotransplantation.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the new organ fails, doctors can learn from it, Looney told the AP. You don't know it's going to work or not until you try.
They're altering the pig organs to be more human-like.
I would have loved to. My mother would have tried it if she was around. She died of kidney failure and from diabetes, so I'm sure she would have signed up and give it a shot. But it wasn't available 20 years ago. So. But a hunter. Now this is another karma. This is another karma
story.
Oh
man!
So we went from
Talk to me.
A good karma to a negative karma, but sometimes that happens too, right?
That's what happens. Payback. You know what they say. Payback is yes, it is.
So there's a group of hunters treed a bear, right? They went after bear hunting, and it was a freak accident in Virginia. A group of hunters chased a bear into a tree. One hunter shot the bear.
Up a tree.
Right. Up a tree.
Up a tree.
Shot the bear as they were retreating from under the tree. The bear fell and crushed one of the hunters, 58-year-old guy, who
got
died.
squished.
Yeah, he got squished. Lester Harvey, father of 5 and grandfather of 8. And,
Everybody said he was a nice guy, but... I guess
look, I don't have personally anything against hunters. If you want to hunt and you like that stuff, but it's kind of interesting how the bear got even.
Very even. A life for a life, I guess you can say.
Well, the other guys were happy that the bear didn't fall on them.
Yeah, they got out of town. But let's take a minute now.
Yeah.
Inspector.
Yeah.
This is Christmas.
Oui.
almost 10 years. And for Mr. Inspector, I have two Christmas presents.
Oh, a Christmas present! Oh, thank you, Bill. Aren't you a wonderful guy? Outbacks and two Outbacks, or Carrabba's, or Bonefish.
Oh, jeez.
Or Flamingo.
Oh, all right, give him back that. Just give him back.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You ever been to the Gettysburg site? You know, where they fought the biggest Civil War battle?
I think I was when I was in school up in Pennsylvania.
I did once. I visited Gettysburg, and it was a huge battlefield. So the National Park Service is administering the first test since 2017 to become a guard.
But they have a problem now because they can't find people smart enough to pass the test.
Uh-oh.
I guess maybe this is another DEI kind of like
who knows?
They'll have to do, but they can't pass the test.
So I would probably say I could do pretty well on it because remember I have a history.
How many questions are there? 180.
It's 180 questions.
180.
3 essay test. You need an encyclopedic knowledge of the 1863 battle, as well as a firm grasp on the lead up to the war and its aftermath. So you have to be a super Civil War buff.
Now they used to have 180, and I think they're down to 150 now because people can't pass the test. So people are taking the test, but they're failing it.
Of the 97 people who last sat for it in 2017, that would have been 7 years ago, only 9 became licensed guides. Now it pays
50
if
grand.
you bust your rear end, it might make $50,000 a year. It's just bragging rights, pretty much. There's no pension, there's no health plan, there's no sick leave. You just
you're doing it for people.
Doing it to have fun. You really love the Civil War, and you want to talk about it, like any guide, right?
Yeah.
So, give it a shot. You might become a Civil War guide. Well, on behalf of Bill and myself, thank you for watching and supporting American Roundtable. Remember to keep it real.
And remember Inspector Spry.
And remember the Alamo.